Hi everybody and welcome to the 8th edition of Ljubljana Talks. Here in studio, together with Jan Oršič, we have something great and important to share. So Jan, what is the big news we would like to share today?
Yeah, we were just informed that we got shortlisted onto the ICCA Best Marketing Award. That means that we are amongst the 5 destinations and 5 projects that were created in the past year. Obviously we are doing something right.
We are really happy because of that, mainly because in the Corona crisis we figured out what we can do to stay in contact, stay in touch with the clients, and all that with no budget. So that's really amazing. And another thing is that we proved that we are agile. So in these hard times. But Jan, what can you say about this first phase of the project, and what is the future of this project?
I think I have to go a step back.
Okay.
And I think the context of the mindset that we were in when we had a telephone call and we were banging our heads, what can we do? What can be done? Where are we going? What's happening with the meetings industry? Will there be meetings live? Will anyone be allowed to meet? Will we wear masks? Everything was kind of hibernating. We had people leaving the industry. We had people losing their jobs. We had companies closing their doors. We had hotels that were shut down. We could see that people were globally affected by this huge thing that, to be honest, I don't think we really understood. We just knew that the finances were down. We had no marketing budget because, as Ljubljana Tourism, we get funding from the tourist tax, and if there is nobody staying in the hotels, there is nobody paying the tourist tax, so we get no budget to do anything. So we were really in a crazy position, and we were thinking, should we do an educational, should we talk about, what can we do? And I think it was right at that time that we were experimenting a little bit with the Clubhouse platform, and to have a platform that allowed everyone, regardless of where they are, to participate, listen in, leave, comment, create these rooms. I think it was like a digital conference in a way.
Yeah, that's correct.
And we wanted to test it because it was only existing on certain platforms. I had to borrow an iPhone to actually start listening to it.
Now it's more democratic than it was at the beginning.
Now it's much more democratic, but we said, let's give it a go. And perhaps because of this democratic element, we said, let's put it on YouTube as well, because now everybody can listen to it. And from an analytical point of view, it's going to be very interesting to go back and listen to where we were in those first podcasts, because this is in effect a kind of podcast, but it is open on Clubhouse, and it is becoming, I think, something a little bit different. We see there's a lot of opportunities within destinations and corporate market. Everybody started to create this sort of talking platforms, debating things, the way that previously it really wasn't done. So it's very exciting and it's very new, and we don't know where it will take us and what the feedbacks will be, but we were really surprised by it, weren't we?
But we really started with the empathy. You agree with that, Jan? Empathy to the community we have around. So we already have a community on the level of Ljubljana Convention Bureau, around the Congress magazine, and these 2 partners can really, if we join forces, that was the basic idea, then we can really reach the sky. And this is my message to all actually listeners. We need to join forces in hard times. Stay together, and that's why
and not give up.
Absolutely. And we stayed in touch. We reached a lot of people during these few months. And what is really important, the content was important. Always we opened really interesting topics for the industry itself, and that's what I see as a big result. And of course, discussion. If this is a podcast or communication platform
or something else.
We don't know yet. So basically it's a hybrid now.
But it's effective.
Yeah.
It's effective because first of all, having this, we got a lot of feedback from people that perhaps we were not in touch at that specific moment. They said, oh, this was very interesting. Oh, when can I join? There's a lot of interest to join this. And if there's anyone out there who wants to join, let us know. We'll try and make it happen. Because the craziest thing is you don't have to be here in the studio to be with us.
Yep.
You can be on the Clubhouse platform and the audio will be included in the shoot, and it will be, it's about the content. I think we have to go to the content-driven economy mentality. It's what it's all about. It's about saying this is a good example of that, this is a bad example of this. This is where we go forward.
Exactly.
And like you said, it's about working together, to having a private company together with a public company. We are both looking outside. We are using an international language. We are trying to address international challenges, anything from food to the meetings industry, to congresses, to conferences, incentives, digital platforms. We've covered a lot of it already in just a few of these editions, and we just see more potential where to take it.
Yeah, the red line was actually how to make industry better. That was the first one. And this is the red line from the beginning, actually. Still, we are talking about that. And we are moving towards that. I was in the restaurant of one of our guests a few days ago, and what he's doing is really sustainable. You remember the Joris Zupan, He's one of the Michelin stars chefs here in Slovenia. And if you want to change the whole industry, we have a lot of work to do. And we really touched the point of the sustainable food, of creativity, of many important topics. This is what I'm proud of. But maybe we should also explain once again what kind of platforms we have. So this is already a platform. So we are on Clubhouse, we are on YouTube, we are on Congress magazine, and of course on LinkedIn. So all these 4 channels are open now. And that's why we are saying, and we can be also live, and we were live at the crossover conference. So this is the hybrid concept we developed. And this is to me amazing, that we can use the same model, the same podcast idea actually in different channels.
Exactly, and it's about flexibility. We can do it so that somebody's in the studio, that we are in the studio. We can do it because of the Clubhouse platform. We can do it so that we are both in our living rooms and still talk about things. We're trying to take this technology that is now available, that a year ago really wasn't available, and use it to become better, to adapting to the new future. I think it's very interesting how it was estimated that the world has gone in 1 year because of COVID through 5 years of technological advancements.
Or even more.
We've done a huge step. So the question is, will we go into 2022 dreaming and redoing 2019, or will we go 5 years into 2027? That is what I want to see. And I think this is what we need to talk about. Are we in a few months in 2027 on a mental and technological level, or are we stuck somewhere in the past dreaming about the good old days and leaving everything so that it was as it was because it was so great? But was it?
Nostalgia will come out, definitely, because it always comes out, This is in human nature, but reality is what you are talking about.
We can do an after-party topic 2019, and we all dress like 2019
exactly,
do things
exactly. But what I really realized during this project is that the future will be hybrid, although there are some people totally against this idea, but we are already doing this. I explained to you, we did one totally digital event a few days ago, and of course it was successful, but in the hybrid style we can do more. We can really bridge the gap between these 2 communities, and this is what we are doing with this project. We are bridging the gap between online community on the Clubhouse and sometimes a live community at the conference or wherever,
And we can talk to you who didn't have the time to listen to us on Clubhouse, and we can talk to you in a different country, and we can talk to you in a different time zone, and we can talk to you in a week's time. if you have the interest to listen to us. Hopefully you do.
As long as we are relevant to you.
Yeah.
If we are not relevant to you with the topics, with the content coming back,
then send us the comment of what you want to talk about, and we will discuss that. Because
absolutely,
that's the charm of this. We can do one a week, one a month, 2 a day if we want. Come on. And it's so exciting because of the feedback we got also from our international colleagues and partners. It's because they will listen to us and they will comment on the platform, on Clubhouse Live, and it is so interesting how it is a new platform that gives you the old advantages of talking to someone. And it is, in my perspective, to have the Clubhouse playing live or being live on Clubhouse is very much similar to having an event like we did for Conventa Crossover, where we had a huge live audience and people on, there were 4 people on the stage and live questions, and it opens this channel that is really, really communication-wise very effective and very valuable. And, in the comment section underneath the videos, you can ask something, comment on it, say, I want to join, I would love to talk about this perspective, what do you think about this? And that I find incredibly democratic, I find it incredibly open, and that's the charm of it.
On the other side, because we are so happy today because of this ICCA Marketing Award finalist status we have, we should talk also about the marketing itself. It's exactly the same as Jan explained. Forget about 2019. In terms of marketing, it's over. The big trade shows and what we learned in the past, about the fem trips, about the sales calls and so on, blah blah. It's over. We need to adapt and we need to find a way to reach the clients or to reach the community we have where they are. If they're online, then we need to reach them online. If they're live, we need to reach them live. That was our idea too. So in that sense, this is a simple. I simplified the whole idea, but basically, it's all about that. You need to be there where your clients are, or your guests, or friends, or whatever. And this was the problem before the crisis. It was more a push marketing. Not really a pull marketing. And if we talk about the project itself, our project is a typical pull marketing based on content. It's a content-driven marketing, and this is what I see as a future. For example, people, in my personal opinion, will just go to the project, to the event itself, with a good content. This is the basic thing. They will not go to an event anymore if the content is poorly prepared.
It has to be the content. Because at the end of the day, what we all learned is that we now live in a market, the US is talking about the great resignation phase, in the history. Everybody's quitting their jobs, doing something they love. And things have stopped being based just on the financial value.
Exactly.
What is interesting is that tourism in general, as the meetings industry is incorporated into the grand tourism, economy. We never actually started really doing that on a lot of national level, also on a local level, on company level. We are talking about how many people did we get, how many people visited, how many people went through the door. But going through the door, going through the gate, that does not necessarily mean higher value. We need to create the value so that the value will be driving our actions. We don't have to be everywhere. We need to be where it's relevant. And the rest of the time we should optimize our activities so that our quality of living is higher, that we raise the standard of living. If you can do something in 3 hours, you don't have to sit behind the table for 8. Why? But when something has to be done properly, you can sit behind the table for 12 hours if that gets it done. So it's about changing the perspective of how it really works and where does the profit come from? Where do you create the added value? How to drive our industry so that it will become more relevant in the grand economic scheme, so that it will be more resistant for people leaving our industry. One debate that we constantly have an issue is, people are saying we don't get the people to work in the restaurants, we don't get the people to work in the hotels. Mm-hmm. When we had the big situation with COVID and people left, we should be talking about the years of knowledge living. And we cannot because the perception is, okay, we lost somebody we lost a person, we'll get a new person in. But when you say we lost 20 or 25 years of knowledge or 10 years of knowledge, where will we get the 10 years of that knowledge? How can we replace that? If somebody left our industry after 20 years of networking and education and goes to a different industry, how can we get that back? And this is a huge challenge that we will all have. It's not just about the money, the paying, fairly, the people that are behind the scenes and people that are sometimes invisible even, but it's more than that. It's about how to create the perception of our industry to be an innovative one, driving the change and driving also people to be a part of this new whole paradigm.
Yeah, that's why I'm preaching all the time about creativity, that we are a creative industry. Anyhow, we are connected to architects, to designers, to name it, to artists, all kind of artists. Whatever we are doing, we are always there. But basically, what people are now buying from us as an agency, I'm talking this as an agency, they're buying creativity, they're buying actually KPIs which are not just money, based on money, but based on, for example, change of behavior of participants. When people will go back home from the conference, from our chat or podcast, they need to change the way how they organize events. And that's also the idea of our event. Here comes creativity, and we need to stop talking about logistics. Our industry is not about logistics. That was also the message of the Ljubljana Talks, and we should focus more on creativity. This is what I personally believe 100%.
Exactly. If at the end of the day you know that you will get a value in a certain destination, you will get to that destination even if it's not a direct flight. You will get to that destination because you will recognize the value that you being physically there brings. And only when that is actually, if we're talking about networking, of course, that value is even higher. But if we're just talking about knowledge, perhaps you can decide to be digitally present somewhere that is far away, and you do the whole presence thing in a different place, again, based on value. And I think what ICCA is doing in this conference, which is next week, in Paris, they will have a hub. The main conference is in Cartagena in Colombia, in South America. To travel there, it's difficult, it's expensive, and it's two different continents, a lot of different people that you will uncontrollably meet at the airports and airplanes and so forth. And then, if you ask me, what does that mean? I think the hub is actually a very interesting model, and I want to see how it will work, because it can be a solution to actually meeting a lot of people that are locally relevant in that hub, and only then travel further away, perhaps, if the networking is so much better. So I think we should all try and analyze what are the new modum operandi for different things. It's very exciting, and I mean,
and we need to follow, and this is a stupid idea. We need to follow the simple logic from the movie industry. We need to create pilots. And if the pilots goes well with the audience, then we move on to the real project. But we are not doing that. Sometimes we just believe that something is good and we do it. But if we test it, then it's of course a different story,
It's a taster. It's a taster.
Definitely. I mean, this is something which is not really present in our business. To visualize, this is also a brand new world we are living now in. So we can visualize our events really easily now. Present this crazy idea we have to the clients. So
find the difference, a destination to destination. In a lot of times we have been trying to be more similar to the other. But I think the added value of the experience of traveling somewhere is to finding it a little bit different, to experiencing something different, to taking your time to really saying, I've been there, not just a tick on the
but we need to cooperate then, like we are doing now. We need to cooperate on different levels. That's the only way. I mean, I will not preach here about teamwork and so on, but it's about that. Definitely, it's about that. And we were really not doing that properly before the crisis. Now the crisis.
We're learning,
and it's getting better. And this is the magic of this project.
And you know what? The proof is that we are not just talking about theory. It's what our turf is.
Absolutely. I mean,
the distance that this project has gone, with something that we started out of desperation in a way, and just trying to find new channels. I mean, over 28,000.
Now it's more. Now it's more. Now it's over 40,000.
I think we're going over 30,000 of across platforms, that the message is getting out, that we are trying to create a platform for content, and I think it's a very exciting time. So thank you, ICCA, for recognizing this and putting us into the shortlist.
We are super happy, and we are looking forward for the results for the grand finale. Jan will be in Paris, so
if you are voting, I hope you voted for us, and thank you if you did, and if you voted for someone else, thank you again, because it's important to see who is the best at the end of the day.
Absolutely, and see you soon in the next edition of Ljubljana Talks.
See you. Bye-bye.